Oh boy. Yeah, I know.
You're watching Anime Sundays.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Anime Sundays, the show where we talk about anime, yes, on Sundays. And I am your host, Jared Ross. Welcome back to another episode. Your boy's lined up, and as you can see, I don't know if you noticed, we have redecorated the background. Several posters have came in, as you can see. Really notice the detail, though. Today we are here to talk about another Instagram debate topic that seemed to be pretty popular on my page that focused around bringing back one anime character to life. So I think I'll call this debate topic, who deserves an extra life? Like Mario? No? Okay.
ワンピースは実在する
On my Instagram post, I didn't have too many characters' faces on there. I believe I only had like Jiraiya, Netero, Ace, and like Hughes, right? So we'll automatically just include those people in the lineup. And I'm going to go ahead and throw out another 4 characters who I believe should be in this conversation. At number 1, I'm going to include Whitebeard in this conversation. I am going to include Shikamaru's father, Yoshino Nara. I'm going to include Kite from Hunter x Hunter. And then lastly, I'm going to choose Nana Shimura, also known as All Might's predecessor of the One for All. Now, I just chose these 4 random cats because they're from different animes, pretty popular ones. Yes, I know there are several other anime characters who have died useless deaths. Trust me, I know. Now, the parameters for deciding who gets to be brought back to life is that there should be some type of significant reason or significant change that anime character will have in their anime if brought back. For example, if we bring back Neji, what is he really going to do in the anime if he's brought back to life? Whereas if you bring back Ace, there's several different possibilities of the things that Ace might be able to do to affect the journey of Luffy and everybody else. So if we look at the breakdown of all the characters we're talking about here, Jiraiya, May Hughes, Netero, Ace, Whitebeard, Kite, Nana Shimura, and Shikamaru's father. Let's kind of break down each character and one good reason why they should come back to life. Let's start with Jiraiya. If Jiraiya was brought back to life, I don't know how much of a severe impact he would have on the war, as pretty much everybody was getting work. The Signing, the 5 Kage, Pain did what he did without too much problem. Would there have been more information related to Naruto and the Elite Village? Maybe it wouldn't have been destroyed so easily. Yes, I think that's a possibility if Jiraiya was brought back to life, but I don't think Jiraiya's resurrection would have done too much for the show in really any sense. So I have Jiraiya kind of at the bottom of who I'd bring back. Let's go into May Hughes. Very tragic death, killed by homunculi who disguised herself as his wife as he was trying to relay the message that the Fuhrer and the homunculi have infiltrated the state alchemist and obviously the hierarchy above them. Now, if May Hughes survived, not only would they have got a head start on the homunculi running shit, but I'm sure a lot of other travesties in the show could have been prevented as well. I don't know if it would have completely changed how fast Ed and them gained the way to victory, but I do know it would have been a lot of help. Now, Netero. Netero's death to me was a plot decision to try to give a little bit more momentum to Hunter x Hunter. Netero's death really didn't enrage anybody. It didn't really take anybody up to a new level of power. I don't think Netero's resurrection, or if he survived the fight with Miriam, really would have done anything for the good of the plot. I don't think it really had any significance in terms of, okay, everything's kind of fucked up now. Because even the association was still running pretty smoothly. They had an election, things went on. So I do have Netero in that bottom 4 as well. Who I also have in the latter bottom half is Ace. Here's the thing, I truly do believe Ace's death was the real reason Luffy decided that he needed to become way stronger. Yes, he lost his crew. Yes, he'd been taking L's really ever since Sabaody Archipelago, but he still didn't learn. He was still being just as reckless, breaking into Marineford, breaking into Impel Down, just over and over again, getting whooped, even called, taking years of his life just to bring him back. Yeah, he understands a little bit of the power system now and how low on the scale he is, but he didn't really decide that it was time for him to get significantly stronger until he realized that 1, he still had his friends left, and 2, that he didn't want to have the pain of losing one of his friends as like he lost his brother Ace. So I do agree that Ace's death is solidified. Even though, yeah, we might have been able to see him with some hockey and do more greater things in the show, I do believe that Luffy needed that push to really want to train and get stronger. Now we get into the other half of some of the characters I believe should get an extra life, and some of the reasons why I feel like their resurrection would be more significant and more helpful than the characters I just mentioned. So next we have Nana Shimura, also known as All Might Sensei, All Might's predecessor of One for All. I believe if Nana Shimura didn't die and maybe just lost and survived and was in critical condition, I feel like it would have a huge impact on the anime. And yes, you could say All Might decided to go hard or harder after she died, but I feel like if she was critically injured, All Might would still go just as hard, still be the #1 hero, and Deku would have 2 teachers of One for All helping him. If Nana Shimura was there with him, someone who actually could still use the quirk a little bit, I feel like it would have just put Deku even leagues above where he was now. And it probably would have been an easier fight if All Might and Nana Shimura were fighting All for One at the same time. All Might have not had to use United States of Smash to finish All for One and pretty much lose his power. Maybe together, they both could have still been around, and maybe the symbol of peace wouldn't be gone. After Nana Shimura, I have Kite. A lot of you say, well, why would you revive Kite? If Kite was revived, Gon would have never went adult mode. But that's the thing. I do believe that adult mode Gon, however wild and crazy and awesome it is, was terrible for Gon, right? He literally pretty much was dead. 2, couldn't use Nen again after Killua did save his life. But I do believe Kite being alive would have done a lot for Gon and Killua. #1, if Kite had more time to actually train them while the Chimera Ants were doing work, I feel like they also would have bumped up their skill level a lot. Kite was compared to like Gin. Another Nen expert with them in that battle could have changed the whole strategy up. Could have kept some other cats alive who didn't make it in the Chimera Ant War. So I do think Kite would be a huge aid to the squad of hunters in the verse if he was still alive. After Kite, I'm going to get into 2 characters who I believe should be resurrected the most. I do believe that Shikadai's father, Shikamaru, definitely could have done a lot more for the Naruto world in general. Great tactician, yes, he left everything to Shikamaru, but I'm talking more about the future of Naruto. If you had him and Shikamaru being right hand to the Hokage as the right hand advisor, who knows what they could have accomplished with the other nations. Now don't get me wrong, Shikamaru is doing a great job as the Hokage's advisor. They're bridging worlds between nations, but I just only think there would have been even a better job done. And who knows, maybe everybody wouldn't have went under an infinite Tsukiyomi if he was still alive. The reason that they destroyed the headquarters was he was coming up with all types of plans that was fucking shit up. So I do think his revival would be a great one for the Naruto verse in general, and I feel like even in Boruto it would have carried on with more diplomatic and great deeds done. And then lastly, the person I believe who should be resurrected the most in anime and deserves an extra life is none other than Edward Newgate, also known as Whitebeard. Whitebeard's death, I do believe, over Ace's is definitely what we need. There's really much I don't need to say. If Whitebeard had survived the war, not only would him and his squad have recuperated a lot better, they would have kept their territory, and Blackbeard wouldn't even have his devil fruit power. Now, I love the plot twist of Blackbeard getting it, but if Whitebeard still had his power, there would have been even a greater ally to the Straw Hats, probably the greatest one they'll ever have, or could have had, if Whitebeard was still alive. Kaido wouldn't have been able to move like that. Big Mom wouldn't have been able to move like that. I do feel like Whitebeard being alive would have changed the entire game in One Piece. Maybe if Luffy trained with Rayleigh, maybe he would have did some shit for Whitebeard too. They wouldn't have gone underground if he was alive. I just feel like Whitebeard still being alive would have been the most impactful thing they probably could have did in One Piece. So there y'all have it. I have Whitebeard as my #1 choice for an extra life. There's a plethora of cats who deserve to be brought back to life, have had great accomplishments and done great things for the main characters in the verse if they were there. But I believe out of those 8, Whitebeard is the one we really need. Appreciate y'all tuning in again for another episode of Anime Sundays. Hope you like my new background. Stay safe out here. If you want a haircut, you're gonna have to pay for it because this shit was expensive for my barber to pull up. Appreciate y'all tuning in. See you next week.